Okay, hello and welcome. This is the webinar series called The Seven Acts, the Beginning with David Lonebear Sanipass. This is the understanding of how resonant kindness can be put into the world and used immediately. This is call 4 of 7, and this one is called Identifying the Blue Light. If you've missed the first 3, you can go back and watch those. Those are posted on YouTube, on the Star Teachings channel, and also on Ancient Echoes. So my name is Jacqueline Ouellette, and I have been a student of the Star Teachings for a few years now. I've been studying closely with David, and when I first came to the Star Teachings, I had been kind of on my own path of seeking. I had just recovered from a 6-year battle with Lyme, and that led me to seek, first of all, my health, and then that led me to Peru and to some mountains and meeting lots of people across the US and down in Peru. And I kind of wanted something more than that. Once I had my health and my wellness back, I was seeking more. And ultimately it became the search for expanding consciousness and finding out more about the universe. On this path, I remember learning about the stories that we tell and letting go and not being tied to the past. And I worked really hard to move past this ego, which seemed like a very evil thing, a thing that was kind of taking over and controlling the world and controlling my world. And so I let go of stories. I tried to let go of titles and different roles. And when I started listening to David, he was speaking about turning me into we. And that's what we focused on in some of the early teas. And this teaching I never really thought about. It seems simple to turn me into we. And the more I tried to understand it, the more I just didn't get it. I remember taking down all of my websites, everything that had my name on it, trying to erase this ego. And as David spoke, he's speaking about kindness as a next step in human evolution and spiritual evolution, and kindness kind of being this pathway to understanding we and to take the I out of it and to become we, or a global community. And I thought that, in the past, there had to be some magical solution or this giant ceremony that we had to do. But David's teachings are very different. They're very simple at times and practical things that we can put into our life right away, that we can use right away. And so David is sharing these teachings on these webinars. So I have learned a lot in trying to drop all those websites and everything. And as I continue to learn and to listen, I am starting to understand the 3 resonants of kindness, which David spoke about last week: kindness, compassion, and happiness. And also ego is there as one of the vibrations that actually bring kindness, compassion, and happiness out into the world. So it's not something that we can just let go of completely. It's part of what carries that out into the world. David has been sharing, speaking, going to many events, spending a lot of time and energy and travel to help us to understand, to hear these words, to hear the messages. And I just, in watching what he does and how he is, it's incredible. It's, sometimes the small things kind of go right over our head. We miss it. But a lot of what David does is talking about lighting your own light and what lights you up and the simple things that you can do for those around you to help them light their lights. So David is here with some simple guidance for us and also some amazing technologies that can assist and go hand in hand with these teachings. So please grab your pen, your paper. If you're listening to this recording, you can press pause and make sure you have that paper and pen. Whatever we're writing down is really important. When David dies, when he leaves this world, it's not a happy thing. He's giving me a funny face, but all of this goes with him. These teachings are not written down. We don't have anybody else right now that can translate any of the copper scrolls, so this is really important, and you're part of that. So thank you for being here, and here's David.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. It's good to be here again to speak with you. Thank you, Jacqueline. I'm not planning on dying right yet. I have a couple years yet, I hope. So we're talking about finding the light inside, the inner light. And that light could be just about anything. Is that light, well, that we see visibly, or the light that we feel visibly? There's two different ways of doing that. Is that when we look out there to the stars, what do we see? We see a light, and that light travels for millions and millions and millions and billions of years to get here. And we look at it and perceive that light as some sort of energy, a supernova, a bright star out there. So it takes billions of years, that light, to get here. And part of that light is like, wow, how can we be part of that? Well, if we really think about it, and how nature says that we're all star stuff, star dust. Our planet, everything that you can possibly know, this computer, all the elements in the computer, the water, anything that deals with matter comes from a supernova. It's the furnace in the universe that puts all these elements together and puts them together so we can be here as one spirit. That is us, that one spirit. That blue light that we are looking for it is a visible light, but a lot of the light is so small that it's very hard to see with the naked eye. You might be able to see, you probably can see it with an electron microscope, but it's, like I said, it's a very small thing. But you think about this now. This is where it gets crazy. That our elements and what we think of elements and everything else, it gets kind of crazy when it gets smaller. The atoms inside of an atom, that goes to quarks and all the different things that get smaller and smaller and smaller. And the laws of physics don't apply when things get smaller. So this is a bad thing, and this could be a good thing. I think it's a good thing because remember when I just first said that the galaxy out there, billions and billions of years to get here. And that light that we see is a visible light that we can look at and ponder its distance. Light travels at a certain speed, and we can figure that out, how far that is away. Most of the time, it's accurate, depending on what field it goes through. So we're looking at this light now that's at least a couple billion years old, that started out a billion years ago. Now, we have two different energy sources out there now that we're talking about. One is electrical energy, and the other one is dark matter or dark energy. So dark energy doesn't have a physical mass that we think. That the physical energy that we look at, we can't identify it in our physics, or we can't identify it in our mathematics because it was unrecognizable. We don't know what it is. It's part of star stuff, but it's not. Like I said, it's like, all right, in our physical world that we look in, most of us, all of us is in space. Our body's in space. There's a lot of space inside of us. I mean, lots of space, just like the Earth, the universe itself. It has space upon space upon space, with a little matter. So that light that we are looking for, it's inside of us, but it's a universe inside of us that exists as intelligence, as in what we think, you know, and that matter is way far away inside of us. The distance is so deep inside of us that it goes beyond that comprehension of what physical matter is. I know that people want to characterize the soul and spirit and give them a name and some sort of energy force. That energy force that's coming out of space, it is a form of energy that's hitting us that we see as light. That's the only reason why I can see it, because our eyes identify it as light. That's our light indicators. But we have something else in our body that can detect that energy too, is the gland that's in between the eyes, back of the eyes. That gland picks up magnetic waves. It picks up waves that we don't really realize picking up. A lot of those waves are from deep space. We talk about getting bombarded with cosmos, dust, and energy. That wave that's hitting us, it hits part of the DNA. It makes the DNA, no matter what you do. I don't care what people say, growing the DNA, something like that. The nature's ways doing that is spiritual evolution. We have to get the signal somehow. And our DNA has little, if you look at it, they have little antennae on each one of the DNA that receive this signal, or some signal. Part of that signal, we can't identify what that is. That could be just a very low frequency radio signal, but it's doing something to our DNA. And there's nothing you can do out there physically to stimulate this. Much as I know, much as the papers I've read and studies I've done, there's nothing you can do. You can say you're raising the DNA or adding, you're just saying that. It's not really doing anything. Nature is taking care of that for us. But part of that is our vibration to this earth and to each other. We say that we are intelligent beings, spiritual beings. I want to believe that, that we are a spiritual, intelligent being, but we're not proving that. We're not showing that in our evolution. Right now that we're so caught up in ourselves and the world, you know, part of the internet, you look out into the road and people are texting back and forth and things like that. You know, if we are getting bombarded by, say, a wave that's trying to make us more intelligent, we're getting a lot of information during the day off these machines that we get. What's the information? Is this making us better? Is it growing us to a better person? Or is it just enhancing what we have already? You know, you look into this world and you can see a lot of bad things. You know, poverty, starvation, wars, all the different things that you can possibly think of. And there's nothing else creating that but humans. And that's, we want to blame that on bad energy, something that, you know, we think is bad out there. Remember, we're the ones who are receiving it. And when I say that, is that we can do something about it in this day and age. You know, we have this machine that otherwise it wasn't invented. It would be hard to get the teachings out to you. I would have to go door to door, knocking on your door. You know, would you have me in? It's like that. It's like now that you can learn from this machine, what are we learning? What are we doing with it? Is it expanding our consciousness? And that's what we're kind of doing today, is that we're trying to understand that light and that light that's inside of us. That light, what is that light? That light is the spiritual consciousness. And that when we say the spiritual consciousness, that it should be some sort of intelligent signal that we are receiving. Something that's saying, all right, you don't like your world? We can blame our governments. We can blame whole kinds of different factors there, and we do that. And I'm not saying that's not part of the problem, but as numbers, as spiritual numbers, we outnumber anything out there. If we want to change the directions, there's billions of us thinking the same way, but not getting to be able to connect it. And when we're not getting connected, then we're kind of going off two different directions. And when that happens, we have two lights in the universe that are shining. And those two lights that need to be one. One in the thought and one in direction, not belief. Remember, it has nothing to do with the belief. It's having to do looking in one direction, that's all. You can believe what you want, say what you want, but looking in that direction. And that makes an energy source. That makes it an incredible energy source. Putting all those inner lights together as one to like a supernova will change the world. Why is not other people seeing that? Well, there's some people in your history have seen that, but they've used it in a different way. They use it for their own benefit, their own ideas, how we should live, and what they should get out of it. This light is free. There's no conference that you can go to. There's no thing you can buy off the internet or certificate or training you can do. This light is free to everyone. When I say everyone, to the human race, to the animals on this planet, even to the ticks and all the bad things that we think out there that are alive, that they all share this light. So as humans, that we try to categorize as intelligence. You know, at one time we thought the sun revolved around us. As our spiritual intelligence opened up, we figured that maybe that's not right. Maybe the sun is a mass that's a pretty heavy mass out there, and our gravitational force goes around that. That's crazy. But that's kind of like science a little bit. But you have to think about what the biggest thing in the universe is. And it has mass, it has spiritual mass, it has density. And when you have density, you have gravity. When you have gravity, you have attraction. You have attraction, you have something that will attract each other. Because that volume is bigger, we're going to go towards it. And we're constantly falling towards the sun, but never getting there. So that's one way of thinking about the spiritual light, is that we are stars, but our universe inside of us is so deep and so far, we're trying to categorize it as some sort of orb. Look into space, and you can identify the same thing that you are looking at inside of you. You look for that blue star way out there, billions and billions of light years. It's kind of what's inside of you. So you might not even be here. This might be all an illusion. And when I say that, the illusion of we're here in a consciousness, but we're also in a video game. Sometimes I say it, but we're in a bubble. All of us are sharing a different part of that illusion. And as a scientist and a mathematician, I worked on this for years. I said, that's stupid. You know, that's crazy. How could that possibly happen? You know, I can see the mountains. I can see my car. My mom and dad are there. But it's a great illusion. I mean, we believe it always. So our light stays here, but our light never dies. The body that enhances, that never dies either. Because all the critters inside of you, all those little microbes, have that light too. So if you really want to look at yourself, you look like a star system with a supernova, with stars and lights all around you. And we look at these galaxies out there with the same thing. They have a conscious intelligence to the universe. All the universes you see, they have some sort of consciousness, because you do. Because the only reason why you can see your critters, because you are in that moment. You're here. That when we start to travel in the stars, we travel amongst the stars with the other star beings. What that looks like is probably a blue light. That's a very intense blue light. But that's kind of hard to imagine, and sometimes hard to take a chunk of that and say, oh, no, I read this book that says that we're this. Remember, we all share the same illusion. So our opinions from it vary, but we still go back to what that is, that blue light that's inside of us. Now, I think about this a lot, and people interview me and things like that and say, well, you know, this says that. Remember the rhetoric out there. There's a lot of it out there that says we're different things and we're angels. And I'm not saying that's not true, but it's like when you are looking among the world, when you're outside with the human people and animals, your vision is different. You know, you don't get to read the books and things like that. You get to see the life on trees and flowers, hot and cold, windstorms, all the different things. So it's really harder to comprehend what that blue light really looks like, because that menagerie is in front of us. And it's a glass menagerie. We see through a lot of things that we should be seeing. And a lot of those is what is true spirit? You know, we have a lot of interpretations of what that is, and I see people post different things, and I'm not saying it's not true, but look around you. Is what you're doing helping other people? You can pray all you want for 40 some odd years for kindness and love and to the world and stuff like that, but if you do not do something and act on that, that energy is not going to go anywhere. We pray for peace on earth. I just checked today, we had peace on earth for at least a minute and a half. That's a mathematical equation, a minute and a half. I think we want it for at least 24 hours or 3 days. If we have it for 3 days, our will to change. But I don't think we're looking for peace, because it's right there. We have the potential now to feed the world. We have the potential of not getting cold, not being hungry, and healing the sick. And but what's stopping us? You know, we've put billions and billions of dollars to our medical research and cancer and all the different things, and we pour money into it so we can see, have a trial of 5 to 6 years to see if some medicine works. And it doesn't work, we'll go do it again. We have a cure for cancer. We have a cure for all the different things. But our civilization won't let us get it, because it's the same thing that what you have to do when you pay your light bill. You have to come up with some currency to do that. Or when you have to pay for the internet, or you pay for car payment, or you pay for something that you're doing. You know, so we're trying to pay to get well, to find out what the answer to cancer is. It's out there, it's right in front of us, but it's so boggled down in the finances and technology and things like that, we're never going to see it in our lifetime. I did calculations on different medicine companies out there that they brought different medicines, and a lot of them do help, but a lot of them has that they don't help. They don't help the majority of the people. Do you realize that every cure for any disease out there is in your DNA? It's a reactive energy in your DNA. It is a vibration that we all have, and we can all seek and find it. But you won't find it in another person trying to heal you. You can be suggested to be healed, but we have that power to heal ourselves. I think I just have a hard time with people healing other people, because they have a... So I was going to a healing session. Healing that part of that we already can heal ourselves, and paying money for it. I don't think that's right. People make their living from this. And I know it's a hard topic, and people get mad at me for this, but, you know, teach people how to heal themselves if you're going to do anything. And that means being confident in yourself, to be kind to yourself, be compassionate and happy. You know, I see a lot of things out there, and have a lot of people contact me. Does this work? Does this work? You know, and, you know, you can do the calculation on it. The majority of the time it works, but it's only suggestion. But it's only plays in numbers. And, you know, people have, so, you know, I could do this. When I tell people, if someone gets their finger cut off, you should be able to do the same thing. You should be able to heal that finger back on. Just not something that we say. Happiness has a lot to do with the spiritual healing. It's when we're happy ourselves and be able to share that happiness. What I say is that when I say a smile on your face, a good day to your wife in the morning, or a good day to your husband in the morning, good day to your mate, good day to your children. Said, I hope you have a great day, and check on them during the day. See them, they have a great day. And that's all depends on you. I know we have crappy days. I'm the same way. I have crappy days, and usually that the people around me kind of get crappy too, or it goes other way. It's that we all share the same space, so we're going to feel the same energies. So when we start feeling the energy of happiness, let's share. Let's. Then you want to be with that person. You want to be with the family, but you have to be happy. You have to learn how to be happy. And nobody can make you happy. No mate, nobody in this world is gone. You can only be happy for a little bit. Then it's going to go away. That happiness has to shine like a supernova. It has to make no shadows. It has to be something that we do every day and put it in our practice, just be able to spread that sunshine. That's not only me, that's you and I, that's the people out there. I know that for some strange reason, when we get in the car, we're possessive of that car, and we go through road rage and all this stuff, and do signs and all the different things until we get in the car. And it's like, why did I do that? I think it's because we have a 2-ton object in front of us. It's a weapon that we can get away with it. Only a theory, though. That blue light inside of us always exists. There's no time limit to it. There's no beginning. There's no end. And, you know, as humans, we want to say, where's the beginning? How did the universe begin? Well, what I found out, if energy is energy, there's always energy. There's never a point in this universe, there was no energy. Because nothing can start from nothing, is what we want to put that theory. Oh, it started, there's something just popped out of the air. We've been in existence for billions and trillions of years, and we're going to be in existence for billions and trillions of years. And that's our choice where we want to go in the universe. We don't know that right yet because we go through sometimes crap in this universe and where we are now. But believe me, there's places out there that you can't even imagine. There's something that you can't even think about. You know, right now that we think about death and destruction, you know, and we're trying to get rid of it. And we say, oh, love is going to cure that. If we put love into action, it might do that, but we're not doing that. We're just saying it. It's like kindness. Kindness is a ceremony. That ceremony has to be shared. And if it's not shared, it doesn't work. There's no negative or positive to the energy. It's just one-sided energy. And we do that quite a lot. We make the excuse, I'm praying about it. I'll pray about it. I will send you energy. I appreciate that, but I don't have an energy gatherer here to pick up. I know I have my own energy source, and I would use that. I have people do that a lot, and thank you for doing that. But the best to do, if you want to make somebody feel better, go and do something for yourself. Go and give $1 away, help somebody, call your grandmother, call your grandpa, or mom and dad, or your brothers and sisters, and say, hello, we haven't talked, let's have a tea somewhere. That's doing something. Intent. We intend to do a lot of different things. You know, I wanted to go around the world again, but if I don't start walking, I'm not going anywhere. And it doesn't matter about the money, believe me. So you want to go around the world, go around the world. And acknowledge it to the spirits. That's not ceremony, that's speaking out loud. I want to go around the world. I want to go see China. I want to go this, go that. And keep saying it and do something about it. We all, for some strange reason, once we start talking about it, things happen. Want a new house? Talk about it. Want a new car? Talk about it. Want a new job? Well, talk about that if you need it. But it's like anything else, that action speaks louder than words. And when we put kindness in that action, a lot of things are going to get done. You're going to make somebody happy and compassionate at the same time. You're going to feel good about it, and the world gets a little bit brighter. And I don't have all the answers, believe me. I wish I did. I'd be telling you right now. But I'm telling you what the teachings tell me and what works for me. It might be completely different for you. But I know that since I've been doing this, that it has changed people's lives drastically. It's changed my life drastically. You know, it changes that my eyes are not discriminate anymore, because my eyes used to be only see one color. Now it sees the rainbow. That's hard to admit because my upbringing, I come from a traditional family, and we honored the grandmother and grandfather, mom and dad, my sisters, brothers if I had them. But in this day and society, we don't do that. Something happens in our family and we're gone. And we wonder why our world is like the way it is. Is that sharing who brought you into this world? Maybe something drastically happened, but to end that energy, that bad energy, is that you have to say something to that person. You say, I wasn't too happy with you when I was young. My life has gone on to different avenues and different stars. I just wanted to say hi and acknowledge you. That's all you have to do, and believe me, your energy would change. Finding the blue light is not hard to do. You don't have to go to Tibet and pray and do mantras and all the different things. You can do that if you want, and people do it. You can do that all you want. Pray and meditate and become one with the universe. But I guess when it makes a difference is that person out on the street, or that person's hungry. That mantra makes a difference in that person's life. It works. But put some action into that, in the prayer. Let's go help somebody. You know, it doesn't have to be the homeless. It could be volunteer at a nursing home, and people haven't really seen their families for a while. I used to volunteer quite a lot, and son used to visit them every Christmas and never see him again. But what did that parent do for that child when he's coming in this world? They took all their time to raise that child, and we leave our elders behind. This is supposed to be the modern age of spirit. That means that we have to open the spirit to everyone, even if it doesn't seem right. People come to hear me speak and they look for something, look for something they can grasp onto. So maybe this guy is different. Maybe he's speaking differently. Maybe there's something that he's telling the universe, or the universe secrets. Honestly, folks, I'm not saying anything different than anybody else is saying. The only difference I'm doing is just putting action to it. That's it. If you just listen to my words, you can go find a book somewhere or find a seminar that somebody said something I said. Just hearing it over and over and over again. And that's sometimes what we have to do. Sometimes we get spiritually deaf because we think of angels and clouds and rainbows and pumas and all the pretty things out there, And that's nice to think about. And I do think about those too sometimes. But the real light that we can share is right here inside of us. That light that we can share, to cast no shadows upon another person, cast no shadows upon yourself. Think is kindness, vibration is compassion, that vibration is happiness. And ego keeps them all together. And ego is a teaching, We think about that, said, oh, I have too much ego, I have too much, no ego. We have to have enough ego so we just don't step in front of a bus. Balance out that ego. I have ego. I have a lot of people say, I'm wrong and this, that. Great, thanks for pointing those out. I appreciate that. And most likely I'm wrong. I'm probably right 1% of the time. That's it. And aren't we all like that? Right 1% of the time? Is that when I walk, my balance system corrects me every 95% of every second. But that 5% it corrects me. I'm right. I stand upright. And it's like that in our everyday life, in business, in our spiritual practice, our friendships, is that we're wrong most of the time, but that 5%, that 95% that we put out there in kindness, we make a difference in somebody's life, in that compassion and happiness. I know sometimes it's that simple, and we complicate things a lot. I'm from a traditional family. I've been in ceremonies upon ceremonies upon ceremonies and looking for change in this world. I can't say the ceremonies didn't work, but we're still doing ceremonies. We have a ceremony of friendship. That means everyone in this world. We have a ceremony of welcoming people in, but we don't do that. We only welcome some people in. It's that we could do ceremony a lot, but it's going to come times that we're going to have to step out of that circle and go to see who lives next door or who needs help. We look for peace in the world. We have to have peace of mind, peace of spirit to be able to share that. I think that's the hardest part about this whole thing, especially for me. I don't think I was meant a speaker or a teacher because it's very hard for me to do that. It's kind of stepping out of my comfort zone to go do it. You know, I spoke down in Arizona. I just think about before I went on, they was introducing me, said, I think I would rather be home today working on a project in the basement or something. I don't want to be in front of all these people. But this is important. If you listen to this and what's going on, that to get out of your comfort zone, to make a difference in the world, to help to find people's light. You don't have to turn the light on. The light's already on, but it's so buried deep inside of those people that we just have to just show and unclutter that basement just a little bit so that light comes out. I think that's the hardest part of the whole system of this world. We're doing a lot of different things out there, you know. We're praying different ways, believing different things. All we have to do is keep our belief, honestly, and just look in one direction, but do it together. The Muslims can sit down with the Christians can sit down with the atheists can sit down with the world. And still believe the same thing and look in one direction and get something done. Because honestly, I've seen different communities come up and different communities, you know, they try different things and it works for a while, but all people don't believe that. There's some people going to join you. There's some people are not going to even be involved with you. There's a way all of us to work together and sit together and look in that same direction and kind of listen to each other for the first time and get teachings from it, from each other. We've been doing it for thousands of years, but we don't recognize it. But I'll talk more about that in the next couple episodes. I know my world is changing really quick. And I guess I'm kind of nervous of that because people want to know, the teacher want to know what's going on here. We have a lot of devoted people around these teachings that put their time and effort into getting me on this machine and speaking with you. And I just want to thank those people, and I'll keep thanking them because they put more effort into these teachings than I do. You know, they put up the technical part of it and some of the financing and all the different things that's going on. But we still need help. We still need volunteers. We have very limited budget what we're working on, but there's some really devoted people that are very clever in doing a couple of things. And we need clever people here to help us to put some of this together and bring the teachings out where you are. We have a lot of requests on bringing these teachings out west in Canada, Australia, England, all the different countries. But of course, it takes financing to do that in this day and age to bring these teachings out. And I'm putting a SOS out, to save our spirit, to help us in any way that you can possibly help us to do this. And on the technology that I'm a scientist and I work with some of these technologies that I've been talking about with the magnetic waves, resonators, all the different things that's out there. And it's kind of hard to do the speaking and being in the laboratory at the same time. and we get very tired. And any support, anything you can possibly do, volunteers, anybody, we're calling for those people now. I think we are ready technically to receive some of those people. And some of you have put some messages out there, and we're working still on that to answer you. So be patient with us on that part. We're going through all the messages. My Facebook will be taken down very soon, and there'll be another site that you can contact and write some questions on, and we'll try to get back with you as soon as possible. But I want to thank everybody this evening that's joining us. And you may not agree what I have to say, but it's good to listen. It's good to listen to what's going on, because I do. We should really listen, because the answer is not among the stars. The answer is in you, and you're the star, if you think about that. Somebody should put that on a t-shirt. That sounds pretty good. So, but these are my words for this evening. Thank you for joining me. There's somebody going to, Jacqueline's going to come back on here in a little bit and kind of explain where I'm going to be and what my schedule is, and how to get in contact with us and how you can help. I just want to thank everybody this evening, and I hope everybody has a great evening. Remember, be kind, compassion, and happiness. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you to everyone who is here and listening. I was writing down lots of notes and questions myself. Some of the things that David is talking about, lighting up your light, or other people's lights are already lit. We don't have to do that for them. Just help them to clear out the basement. Those smiles, those hellos, those asking somebody their name and finding out more about them, acknowledging that they exist as another human and spirit on the planet, that we're here together. I think that's a really powerful, simple and powerful ceremony that we can do on a daily basis. So we can keep our beliefs, we can keep the beliefs that we have, but also look in the same direction. That's something that we've been practicing in TEAS, Time, Earth, Air, and Space. It's a technology that has been translated from the Copper Scrolls and given to us in community to help us to look in the same direction, to look in one direction, to give us the tools to actually listen and to hear the spiritual messages that come through everyone. Those T's are something that you can join, and those are listed on the Star Teachings Facebook page. And that's Star Teachings with an S on the end. Also, David, you can reach him. He has a public page. It's called Lonebear's Words, David Lonebear Sanipass, and that's at Lonebear's Words, LONEBEARSWORDS, Lonebear's Words. And also we have the science and research, some of the balloons and resonators and other technology. That's more of the information and science sharing, and that's also on Facebook, and that's Distant Ancient Echoes. So those are some of the places that you can reach out to us. Like David said, we are receiving lots of messages. Thank you. Thank you for sending your questions and offerings. We're going through all of those and trying to get back to everybody as soon as we can. So again, thank you for your patience with that. We are still looking for more help. We need help in all, basically all realms. So if you have something you'd like to help with, feel free to reach out. We have next week, next Thursday, will be the 5th of the series of 7. And we are going to be talking about the strings of light, how everything is connected. So next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you can join us right here. So have a good week. Get out there and just be your light. We look forward to hearing your voice, and I guess we'll wait for you to contact us, and hopefully we'll have this recording up so that you can share it also. Well, have a good night.